I'm shitting on your toilet! I know you don't like that. You gonna talk to me? What was that?
Alright, Harrison, so I want to show you this. It's an old VHS that I was recording, and there was an episode of, like, Star Trek Voyager. Anyway, there was a commercial for Star Trek Voyager that I was like, I'll record that. And it wasn't until after, like, I've edited it a few times and watched it, I'll just show it.
Okay. Where am I looking?
Right about now.
The Editant's edge here. And now there's no escaping the fact that Master. The Editant's edge here. And now
what
there's
the
no escaping
crap
the
is
fact
that? What is that?
Right there?
Is that your eye?
No, that's not mine. It's an eye, but...
Pause it. Pause it right. Oh, pause it.
The Editant's edge here.
Now.
What's weird is, like, when you pause it,
it goes away.
Yeah.
And now there's no
escaping
the fact that
it's just there.
Just
the Editant's edge here.
Why?
And now there's no escaping the fact.
It's not part of, like, the original footage that you see, because I don't know, I don't see something being overlaid across several shots.
The Editant's edge here. And now
there's like at least 3 shots there that it's overlaid over.
Yeah.
And it's just a random eye. And it's weird, too, because when you pause it, I mean, it's still kind of there.
It's still kind of there, but it disappears.
But if you kind of look away and then look back, you almost don't see it, because it just kind of blends into
his face.
All the static. I mean, granted, this isn't the best picture. This is a staticky
VHS tape. It
was recorded off the air, like over-the-air television way back in the day, and it was recorded onto a VHS tape that's aged itself. So the reception wasn't good when it was originally recorded anyway.
And now there's no escaping the fact that
that's
each week
so
the intensity
weird.
is
And then I watched the whole episode and I don't ever see anything else like come back or whatever.
So it never comes back.
No.
That's freaking weird. So you don't know what it is at all.
Oh, I have an idea. So
what is it?
Well, there's the Ghost Adventures version.
Hello and welcome to Ghost Adventures. My name is Harrison. We're in the legendary Yule House, where this is the toilet of John. We call it John's John. Local people here say that it is haunted by John. We don't know his last name because this is half-assed. Legend has it that a man named John, a very evil man who had slaves and committed murder. He died taking the biggest dump you could ever find. According to the autopsy, he actually blew off his own butthole. Yes, that really is the thing. Google it. Just Google it under images. You won't be disappointed. And legend has it, he's still here to this day, taking that very last painful dump. Local people say that outside they can hear moans and screaming and the occasional flush of a toilet, despite the fact that this house has been abandoned for centuries. People around town have heard him moaning, heard flushing sounds, heard screaming, begging for his mommy. If you can see here, this is John's daughter, Betty. She listened in terror at the bathroom door, which was locked, as her father screamed and wailed, begging for help. That would never come. So what we're gonna do now is we have our EMPs. Yeah, we have our EMPs, and we're gonna, according to legend, John doesn't like people sitting on his toilet. Others have done it, and they've been scared away, so we're gonna try to make contact. Okay. John! I'm talking to the spirit of John. I'm shitting on your toilet! I know you don't like that. What was that? Crap, what was that?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that? Oh my gosh, I just got this shivering in my butthole. Oh my gosh. The goosebumps on my butt cheeks are just going crazy right now.
Maybe say something else.
Okay. John, can you hear me? We're here to help you move on to the next life. If you can hear me, knock twice. Holy shit, man. They don't pay us enough for this. John, I hear you don't like people sitting on your toilet. Well, guess what? I'm sitting on your toilet. Come at me. Come attack me. Ah! Our equipment continued to record that night, but all footage past this point was corrupted beyond any hope of salvage. However, viewing what we did have revealed some interesting artifacts, such as these glowing orbs moving about. Anyone who knows a little about how these cameras work will tell you that when you shine a light near a camera lens, it'll cause the light to reflect off a speck of dust floating closely in front of a camera, causing these orbs to appear. But of course we know that those people don't know what the they're talking about, and that's really spirits floating around, which can be seen by cameras thanks to their infrared night vision lights. It's in this scene that we see these glowing orbs moving about, very slowly across the camera. Notice how they move mysteriously and menacingly. Could this be the spirit of John wanting to take a shit in his toilet once again? Or is it just specks of dust? You know which one we're leaning towards, or else why would you not? Why would you be watching? Oh my gosh, I just got this shivering in my butthole. At this moment, I felt a shiver up my butthole that made the hairs on my butt go straight up. I had never felt a feeling like that before. You can see my reaction here. It was at this moment that I felt a slight tickling and tingling sensation in my butt. Was this the hand of John sticking his hand up to try to force me by my butthole off of his toilet? Or was it simply just cold in the bathroom? It was at this moment while reviewing our audio that we found something called an EVP. This can sometimes happen when the dead reach out from beyond the veil or whatever the they are. You can sometimes hear them speak if you turn up the volume real loud and ignore the rest of your senses. I'm shitting on your toilet! Dick. I know you don't like that! Dick. It was at this moment that we heard yet another EVP. Or at least we thought we did. And you will too. I'm shit. What's that? What's that? That's me. What's that? That's me. Crap, what was that?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that? Despite our video footage going out, we discovered an old VHS tape hidden in the shower. As we played it, we realized something. We had discovered an old 90s trailer for Star Trek, or something like it. On the tape, we found an eye that seems to be floating. Could this be the eye of John watching me as I took a giant shit in his toilet? Or is it perhaps the eye of John as he was watching TV while he took a giant dump in his toilet?
Or there could be just what it really is, which is honestly far more boring.
Go for it.
It was recorded over the air television, which didn't have great reception to begin with. I don't know if you take an old analog stereo where you didn't have to twist the knob to change between stations.
I remember
you
that.
can get in between two of them. You can hear two at the same time. Well, old analog TVs could kind of do the same thing sometimes, or if you just didn't have good reception, you could kind of start to pick up something else. So that could be it. Vacuums could do the same thing. My mom would run the vacuum and it would mess up the picture on the TV just because of the electrical. It would actually make an electromagnetic signal, just kind of random static, but it'd be enough to mess up the reception of the TV and kind of
I
mess
have
up
an
the
EMP
picture.
for that. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it was bad staticky when it was recorded anyway. So it was, that tape was from my house, and I know we had a really hard time picking up Channel 14, which was UPN at the time.
UPN.
And, yeah, it's a station that doesn't exist anymore. And they aired Star Trek Voyager, which is where that commercial came from. So, I mean, it's possible that it was kind of tuned in between two stations. We're kind of picking up a different station from there. Because I remember the little bunny ears antenna you'd have for old TVs. Ours had like a little knob on it, and I don't know exactly what it did, but maybe it tweaked
Help
the
the
frequency a little bit. Yeah, kind of helped tune in what frequency you're really picking up. So that could have had something to do there. Another idea is there was already something recorded on that VHS tape, and this has happened on video cameras mostly. When I use a video camera to record something, and then I go rewind and record over it, the quality of that video, for the most part, is just not as good. And sometimes you get little, especially I noticed this with mini DV tapes, which I know isn't analog, they're technically digital, but it's digital information written on a magnetic tape, from a medium still magnetic.
Feel my leg.
You would get little bits sometimes of audio or even little bits of picture from the first time you recorded. So if you're recording a recital and then you rewound and recorded over it and recorded like swimming or something while you're watching the footage of swimming, you might get little bits or sounds of recital footage in there. And that's just more because I think whatever device was writing that information onto that tape didn't do a good enough job writing over the previous stuff. Usually it's like a tape that's just blank. So it's probably that. It could have either been like the TV that it was recorded off of, could have been sorted in between stations, or it might be, I think more likely, there was already something recorded on that tape, and we recorded over it, and it didn't do a great job recording over it. And it's just kind of weird, though, because it has just that eye.
Or most likely, it was John.
It was, It
was most likely.
I mean, we could beat around the bush all we want, but it was probably John.
It was probably John from John's John.
Anything else to add?
We salute you, John.
Rest in peace. Hopefully, we bid you well. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button, comment.
Like and subscribe. There's a button down there. I've always wanted to do this on YouTube. There's a button down there somewhere. That's subscribe. So you should subscribe to it.
If you've had a ghost encounter or felt like you've had a ghost, or you think that my explanation of it is a bunch of crap, feel free to let us know in the comments. Mm-hmm. We'd like to hear from you.
Yep.
All right.
Peace out.
Have a good one. Action.
Hello, and welcome to Ghost Adventures. My name is Harrison, your host for this evening. We're in the legendary how do you say your last name?
Yule.
Yule. Like Yule?
Yeah, like Yule log.
Okay, cool. We're in the... I'm gonna do this again, sorry.